Well, there's no place like home. Well, welcome to the Cinnabar. Now, we're back from Cody for a couple of weeks, and earlier this week, we had the distinct pleasure of a visit from our good friend, an exceptional gunsmith, who's into our kind of guns, Old West type guns, and builds some terrific reproduction copies of the old originals, especially his sharps. His sharps are just fantastic. He's built from scratch by hand. And he also has a passion for Civil War artillery pieces or cannons, and he's built several of those from scratch by hand too. And this week he and his crew brought down a reproduction that he built from scratch, Whitworth breech loading cannon. And of course, we've got kind of a lot of long range places to shoot here. He hadn't had a good place to shoot for a long time. And we used some boulders as targets. And of course, we're a target rich environment for boulders around here. So this was the perfect setup. Now, unfortunately, like happens a lot here on Winter Rim, the wind didn't cooperate. So we had a lot of problems with our cameras. We actually ended up having to lash them down so the wind wouldn't blow them over. And of course, it messed up the audio pretty bad. So some of the clips are going to be a little irritating with all that wind noise in the audio. But we're going to splice things together and just see if we can bring something to you, a little bit of the excitement that we felt with this beautiful old Whitworth cannon. Okay, so this first shot, we're lined up on a boulder right in the middle of your screen here that's about 280 yards out. So this is the first shot in about 3 or 4 years out of this particular cannon.
Okay, fire in the hole. Okay, fire in the hole.
Oh, drilled it.
I'd say that was a pretty good hit.
Yeah.
That's in the sight settings, right?
Yep.
Well, I call that a dead center, actually.
That is a dead center.
Okay, so that one hit just exactly where they were aiming. And of course, 280 yards is a fair shot for us with a rifle offhand, but for those artillery pieces, they're pretty doggone accurate. So I challenged Steve. I'd brought a 5-gallon bucket of some red food colored water, and we set it up on top of that boulder. And now we're going from shooting a boulder the size of a pickup to a 5-gallon bucket.
Take a look through the sight, see what you think. I'm giving it about that much wind.
Oh, okay.
Off the bucket, which is about right.
Yep.
Looks good?
Yeah, I think so.
Ears, Steve?
What's that?
Everybody got ears in?
Everybody ears in? So okay, the safety's coming off. Okay. Fire in the hole, here goes.
Drilled it! Ha ha! Okay, so now we're going to swab this thing out between shots.
Cannon cleaning pad.
Of course, it makes it easier being a breech loader, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Getting all the leading out with these rags, as well as the black powder fouling.
It's amazing that these barrels don't let up.
These barrels are from line.
Oh, yeah, big strings of lead.
Yeah, isn't that funny? Yeah, and I tried using a little lubricant on it and it screws everything up. It doesn't shoot as well. You know?
Oh,
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's just the opposite of what you expect when you're shooting
Right.
black powder rifles.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't use any bullet lubricant on a black powder rifle, my God, it'd lit up so bad you wouldn't be able to clean it for a week. You
That's
know?
true.
And, or it'd take you a week to clean it, I should say. And
right, so our next target is a great big boulder just below the top of the ridge line up here. So it's about another 100 yards beyond the last boulder we were shooting at, so we're about 380 yards now.
Okay, well, which way? That way. Okay, wait.
Getting everything sighted in.
Just a little bit back. There. Which way? That way, just a little bit. Okay, oh, too far, too far. A little bit more.
Even with these
Okay.
heavy lead bolts, we still have to make up for the wind and making fine adjustments here.
It's another guess on the range, so. Everybody ready? Ears in?
Yep.
Okay, here goes.
Just barely above it.
Okay.
Now on the last shot, Steve at the last minute made a little bit of adjustment for windage, moved it off just a little bit, and it shot right off where he moved it. So now he's moving it back, and hopefully we'll just drill it right where he's looking. There's a little tiny bush right in front of that boulder, and he's aiming right over the top of that bush. The last shot was just a little right because the wind blew that bolt that way.
Yeah, that's right where I had it before I moved it, so.
Okay, here's everybody.
Yep. The last miss was my fault, definitely. I underjudged the wind. Ears in.
Yep.
Everybody ready to go. Okay, safety's on. Fire in the hole.
We got covered up in smoke here, but I think it hit right where he's aiming.
Well, it gave it just a little too much wind. I'm about a half a bullet off where I was aiming.
Oh, jeez. And almost 400 yards.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
You know, it's just like, you know, there's a lot of cannon guys that probably know more about the cannons than we do. They can tell you every nut and bolt, the size, the dimension, and everything. But Steve and I are shooters. I mean, long-range rifle shooters.
Right.
So we understand ballistics and
Most
shooting.
of the cannon guys,
And
haven't
these
got a
guys,
clue.
they're happy at 200 yards they can hit a 4x8 sheet of plywood. We're mad if we're not, you know, in the 10 ring at 400.
Okay, so now Steve has proven that he's a pretty darn good shot with that Whitworth cannon. So now it's my turn to shoot. And of course, Steve wheels it around here, and now we're lined up on a boulder that's at almost 1,000 yards out there, 980 yards. Now, if you're looking at the background there, there's kind of a road cut in the side of the rim there, and that boulder is kind of all by itself just under that rim cut and just about the middle of your frame. So let's see what we can do now with me at the helm pulling on the string.
But take a look through the sights and see what you think.
Okay.
Because if we miss, we're blaming you. Now we're giving it a lot of wind.
Yeah, I think the way this crosswind is, that's where it's going to have to be.
Yeah. Anyway, the safety, you just lift this up, pull it all the way out, but don't. That's pretty hair trigger right there.
Okay.
So
Make
don't
sure
let
you're
that go
outside the
tight
wheel.
till you're ready to shoot, and then jerk it pretty good. And of course, stand out of the way of the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it hits you, it just barely comes back to where you are. But
Yeah.
you're plugged in.
Yep.
Okie dokie.
Okay. So I'm pulling the safety.
Yep. Pull the safety. When you're ready, jerk that. Turn your head away.
Okay, fire in the hole.
Oh,
Oh, we're low.
way low.
But I think the windage was good.
Windage looked about right, maybe a little too much. Did you notice that it skipped there and hit up higher in the hill?
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were fairly low there. And what's happening is we've got so much wind coming, and they've got it lined up on where they normally would sight about 1,000 yards, but it was pretty low yet. And I think we were getting a lot of wind coming down off of winter rim, which is really common this time of year. So let's see if we can't get a little closer this time.
Okay.
Okay, second round, we're gonna try this 980 yards at that boulder. Double check the sights. Oh, still a little low.
Still a little low. Should have went a little higher. We're walking it in though.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so we're walking it up towards that target now. Let's see if the third time's a charm.
Go ahead, Mark.
I'm kind
Okay.
of surprised we can't see the bullet in there. I'm not seeing the
You
bullet.
could. I've never been able to see them with the naked eye, but with binoculars you can watch.
I've been able to see them with naked eye several times, you know. I'm surprised we can't.
Yeah, watch with your
Must be
binoculars.
just too light out here or something. I'm gonna look with the binoculars.
Okay.
Okay, we're ready.
All right, safety's out. Fire in the hole. Drilled it.
Gave it a little bit too much wind.
Damn near almost too much wind.
Yeah,
Too much wind. We hit on the upper left-hand corner of
Yeah.
it, but we got it anyway.
yeah.
Yeah, cool.
It's a dead rock now.
Oh, that's great. 980 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this is my good friend Steve. If you can find some of his YouTube videos on his channel called Paiute Steve. Now, Steve's a heck of a good friend and a heck of a good gunsmith, and he's built about 5 of these pieces, artillery pieces or cannons or whatever you want to call them. And this is one that probably, I don't know, is this one the most accurate?
It is the most accurate one we have so far. Got one in the works that's probably going to be better than this one. Okay, basically the barrel is the outside configuration of one. It's a breech loader. The cap works like that.
There it goes.
It has to be in a certain position to pick it up and pick up the thread. And that's how it locks. Back into this is like a hammer. And that's because if you take this and you really spin it closed like that, you can push like crazy. You can't get it undone, but you go, and it just trips it right away. And anyway, that's how the Whitworth worked. They were a breech loading cannon in the Civil War. They were noted for their accuracy. This one has made some incredible shots. It shoots better than we can shoot it, I'll tell you that. And the sight is very similar to a Sharps rifle sight. Mounts on it has got a vernier scale on the side here, which if you're smart, you can write down the sight settings, which we're not very good at that. And anyway, but it's sitting on an Armstrong style carriage. The Whitworth style carriage didn't turn out to be a very good carriage. The original ones were replaced during the Civil War quite often. They're really neat because they have windage adjustment in them, but that turned out to be kind of a more trouble than it was worth. Anyway, let's see. I can't think of anything else really to say about it. I got the plans from this carriage from Antique Ordnance Publishers, and that's where I got the plans for the carriage. Original plans for the carriage, and then the barrel itself. I forget where I got the plans for that, but it's really close to the outside dimension of a Whitworth. This is slightly bigger than the Whitworth, and the Whitworth had a dual lead thread, which I didn't even begin to know how to cut a dual lead thread, but a dual lead thread. But this is a single lead thread. It takes, I think, 4 turns to close it. Anyway, there's 62 pounds of what they call preponderance. That's the weight that the cannon's supposed to have on the elevation screw, and this one's spot on for that. I don't really know what else to say.
So you handmade pretty much everything here,
yeah.
including the carriage?
Yeah, pretty much everything. This is my first attempt at sweating these things on. That was kind of a pain in the neck. But it's once you get the hang of it, it's easy. But doing it for the first kind, it was kind of tough. The hubs are birch. These are hickory. These are oak. And actually, the wheels are 1 inch too tall. They're supposed to be 57 inches. And my math was just right, except for I forgot the tire, which adds an inch, or well, actually, yeah, it adds an inch to the height because they're 1/2 inch thick. Everything else,
You hand forged everything. It's
yeah, everything's all hand forged. These weird little hooks. They're actually specced like that with that little knob on there. And there's a mirror image on the other side, and then there's another hook on the other side for the chain, and it's a different style. Why, I don't know. And the chain links themselves are a different dimension than you can buy, and so I made those chain links.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
links, aren't they?
Yeah, you can't buy that dimension of chain link, and I mean, they're really close. You can get something really close. I don't know why I was so anal about that. I could have just got a regular chain. That you can run that around the wheel to make it so the cannon doesn't get away. And of course, this here like that, and this is for your assistant to help aim the cannon left or right. And these hang on the side. Like that. Typically there's one on either side. And this is a firing mechanism, a percussion cap in here. First you cock it, this is what I call the safety. That goes in there like that. Percussion cap right in there where my finger is, and then I put this key in this little slot right here. Okay, and then when you're ready to fire, you pull this out and you step to the side so you're not behind the wheels. That's how she sets it off.
Well, talk about a hoot. I'd like to thank Paiute Steve and his crew for bringing that Whitworth gun down here. And remember to look up Paiute Steve's YouTube channel. He does a little more shooting on several videos there as well. Special thanks to my wife, the Colt Collector, who came on up with a fantastic lunch and helped hold these cameras down while the wind was blowing so hard. Boy, that's just a whole lot of fun, live firing a Civil War cannon up here. We've, of course, invited Steve to come back. Hopefully the wind won't be so bad next time. We get a little better video of it. Well, I have to thank you for joining us today. As always, like and subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot. Until next time, happy trails from the Cinnabar.